All right, guys, so we're finishing up the note sheets from yesterday. So where we finished off was this one here. So use the given flowchart proof to write a two-column proof. So they already gave us this information here. They want us to rewrite it as a two-column proof. So they told us that AB is perpendicular to BC. So we start off with AB is perpendicular to BC. We also know that AD is perpendicular to DC. And the reason we know this is it is the given. So really we just got that from right over here.
I'm okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Sorry, I was not paying attention.
Now the second part is here. So they told us that B and D are right angles. So we can say angle B and angle D are right angles. And the reason for this is they gave it right below is the definition of perpendicular lines. And our last step is saying what? Angle B is congruent to angle D. All right angles are congruent. All right angles are congruent.
No, definition of that one is, you know, number 2. Oh, definition of line. I'm struggling today. Let me show you.
Any questions on this here? So we can switch from one to the other. So we can go from flowchart proofs to our two-line proofs, or vice versa, two-column proofs. So we can go from two-column to flowchart or flowchart to two-column. We can switch from one to the other. Now we're going to look at the last part of this notes here. So this here, so we have two definitions. Linear pair postulate. If two angles form a linear pair, then they're supplementary. So if two angles form a linear pair, they make a straight line. They add together to be 180. If two angles are vertical angles, then they are congruent. They're going to be the same. Vertical angles are congruent. Linear pair add up to be 180. So here, 1 and 3 are going to be the same. 2 and 4 are the same. And it does work out that angles 1 and 2 here would add up to be 180 because they make a straight line. So if we look at this one here, we know that the measure of angle 1 is 117 degrees. We want to find the measure of angle 2, measure of angle 3, and the measure of angle 4. So what is one of the angles that we know for sure? One is 117, yes? What other angle do we know? 3 is going to be what? So the measure of angle 3 is 117 degrees. Because 1 and 3 are vertical angles. What do we know about 2 and 4? They're going to be vertical angles also, yes? So 2 and 4 will be the same. Now 1 and 2 are a linear pair, so they should add together to be what? So to find angle 2, we could do what? 180 minus, which is, which means angles 2 and 4 are. That's it. Questions on this here? Yes. Because two angles that make a straight line are a linear pair, or they add together to be 180. Any other questions on this here? Let's look at the next one here. So we're told that the measure of angle 2 is 59 degrees. And we want to find the measure of angle 1, measure of angle 3. All right, guys. So we need to find the measure of angles 1, 2, and 4, or 3. Because 2 and 4 are vertical angles. So now we need to find the measure of angle 1 or 3. So what do we know about 4 and angle 1? They're at 180. They make a straight line. They're a linear pair. So we can say that they add up to be 180, or we can subtract 59 from 180. 10 gives us 1. 7 minus 5 is 2, and 1. So angle 1 is, what do we know about angle 3? This can also be 121 degrees. Vertical angles are congruent. Any questions on any of this here? Angle 4 is 88 degrees. We want to find the measure of angle 1, measure of angle 2, and the measure of angle 3. We subtract 88 from 180 to find 3 or 1. 7, 10, which would be 2. 0, 17. 17 minus 8 is. So the other two angles are 92 degrees. Questions on this here? Let's look at this one here, guys. What do we know about vertical angles? They're the same. So 148 and 3x plus 1 are the, so we can say what? 3x plus 1 is 148 degrees. Its vertical angles are congruent. They're going to have the same measure. So 3x plus 1 and 148 degrees are vertical angles. They're going to be congruent. So we can set them equal to each other. Then we can solve for the value of x. So we can subtract 1 from both sides. Now 148 minus 1 is 147. 3 goes into 14 4 times, which gives us 2, 2, 7, which is 9. Bless you. Any other questions on this here? ready for the next one?
Wait, you're done? Oh,
Mhm.
find it.
We just find x. So let's look at the next one here. 5w plus 3 is one of our angles, and 98 is the other. So if we want to find the value of w, guys, what do? We set these two. They're the same thing. So we can say that 5w plus 3 is equal to, and we can subtract 3, guys, so that 5w is indeed 95. And then divide both sides by 5, telling us that w is 19. Questions on any of this here? I mean, we can have different versions of this. We don't have to have 98. We could have had 2w minus 7. We just set them equal to each other and solve. Now, we could have put it as 3w minus 14 over here and not had 98 at all. I was just picking one. Because these two here are next to each other, yes? Linear pairs add up to b. So we'd set it equal to 180 and solve. Because it's just using these properties to solve for the variable. That's a different arrangement. But so far, what we've gone over is how to write a two-column proof and a flowchart proof. Now, there are such things as paragraph proofs where we can write it as a paragraph. And these are different forms of proof. But yes. So you'll get one of the reference sheets in the review sheet, because there is a reference sheet that I handed out the other day. Yes.
Oh, frick.
This is yours.
Mine.
Mhm.
And this one.